Okay. Now, I put in a request in the Discord channel asking for some jokes that we could actually use for the podcast.
And we didn't get any.
We got plenty, but...
No usables.
Why did the Scarecrow win a Nobel Prize? He was outstanding in his field.
That was a variation of a Last of Us joke from Ellie's little, no pun intended book. But I came up with my own, and I went to the doctor, and I was having a bit of a consultation. And the doctor said to me, "Look, do you do any sports? Do you play any sports?" And I said, "Look, does sex count?" And he said, "Oh, well, yeah, that counts." And I said, "Well, then no."
Doesn't count if you do it by yourself.
Come on.
I'm an athlete in that
what
case.
handball is?
Right. Stop.
European handball is when you get someone else to do it.
Right, forget it. Let's start the show. This is episode 203, and today is Tuesday, the 27th of February 2018. Welcome to the Aussie Gamers Express video game podcast. I am your host, Lucas, and here with me is my co-host and very good friend, Snoogs. How are you?
Buttons everywhere.
How are
you?
you?
An insight of just how good I am. Good.
I don't care anymore.
But earlier.
Also with us, co-hosting this week is the lovely Remutha. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing very well. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. And last but not least, the responsible adult of the team, Grejio.
Sup? That's how a responsible adult talks, right? Sup?
Yeah. Good evening. Right, anyway, that was another success. Before we start, here is this week's show in preview. First up, we're going to do video game discussion and news. And in this week's news, we've got Metal Gear's all-time low, another big game to Game Pass, and a Turok 1 and 2 remaster. Then after the news, we're going into a new segment called Hall of Fame. Yes, there's still new segments coming. This is what our new hosts are bringing us. Then after that one, we're going to do What's That Sound? Then another new one called Reverbalation, and then we'll do Last Words. So, let's go straight into video game discussion. Right, just before we kick off on this, I just want to say, did I say the name of that segment right? Reverbalation.
Yeah, very good.
Right.
I'm impressed.
That's not really a word, is it?
No.
It is now.
What?
It is now.
Well, it is, yeah. It's Urban Dictionary, maybe. Okay, well I'll
I'm
get
going
you
to Oxford. I'm gonna apply for Oxford.
Oh, let us know how you go with that. When we get to that segment, I'll get you to explain what reverbalation is. But anyway, first up, video game discussion. I want to talk about Rad Rogers. Have you guys seen me streaming that one yet?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, I fell in love with that game. It came out last week, and there was I just saw it on the store. I think I was just searching through the Xbox store. It's on PC as well as PS4. And I watched the trailer, and I felt like a kid again. And because the game kind of looks like an old school platformer, but it had to beep out swear words in the trailer.
Sold.
That's exactly what happened. I saw that and I went, yeah, right, I'm in. It reminded me of like Conker's Bad Fur Day and the old Mick and Mac, the Global Gladiators. Do you remember that game?
It's a name I've not heard in a long time.
Yeah, that's the McDonald's platformer. But it reminded me of that sort of stuff. So I thought, I'm getting this game. I have to play this, and I'm really enjoying it. It's the levels are massive. I would call it an open world platformer. It doesn't really, it's not really, but it's massive levels where it's not just get from left to right. It's not just point A to point B with the platforming being tricky. You've got to go left to right, right to left, up, down. You've got to go all over the place in search for 4 exit chunks. And these exit chunks come together to make one sort of key that opens up the door to finish the level. And there's like mini bosses, there's big enemies, there's small enemies, there's platforming stuff where you jump on one platform and you've got to quickly jump because it's going to fall away. You know, the old old style things that are always there. There's the moving platforms that go left and right, up and down. There's climbing puzzles. There's even these other little puzzles like Pixel World, where you control what is it looks like a Super Nintendo that's come to life. And you go into this other little worlds and do other little like top-down puzzles. I love it. The premise for the game is you're this little kid, refuses to go to bed. His Super Nintendo, his generic video game console comes to life in the middle of the night and he gets sucked into the TV. You're in this world and you have to survive and all that sort of stuff. But brilliant game if you like typical 90s platforming games. I love it. Great like personality to the game. Amazing. I recommend it. Good game.
The map design kind of sounds like old Duke Nukem, where once again it wasn't that linear from left to right. You know, you had to run around looking for keys to open doors, and then to get into the next area that you'd have to find another key or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what it is. There's keys as well. You've got to find keys to go through doorways. Some doorways are locked off. Sometimes you've got to do mini games to unlock an area that might be blocked by a rock. There's secret areas that you can find with one-ups. Oh, the best part that made me think I am so glad I bought this game is because there are quick save points where you run past the save point and it saves. So if it's like a checkpoint. The best thing is that they're marked by a floppy disk, and when you run past them and set them off, it makes the sound of writing to a floppy disk. I don't know if many people remember what that sound is.
That's awesome.
If I can remember, I'll insert the floppy disk sound here. But yeah, it makes that sound when you save. It is so good. It brought back so many memories. I even forgot that those old school discs made sound, because all of our stuff these days, like USBs and DVDs and all that sort of stuff, they don't make any noise when they're being accessed. Well, maybe the slight spinning sound of a disc, but I forgot that they made that grindy noise when they were reading and writing.
Writing noise.
Yeah. So it's so good. I love that game.
Yep.
Oh,
sounds good. I have to give it a crack.
Yeah. Must play it. Great game.
Destiny had its faction rally this week, so I did that. I finished 2 of my characters, maxed out their faction. What
is it? Is that multiplayer, or is that a mission, or?
So it's across the board. So if you've played Destiny 1 or even Destiny 2, you'd know there were different. In Destiny 1, you could sign up with different factions. So there was Dead Orbit, New Monarchy, and Future War Cult. And they didn't really serve a great deal of purpose in the first Destiny. They were kind of just another way to get more loot.
Yeah.
By wearing their faction ornament, like their mark or bond or whatever, you would gain reputation with them, and every time you'd max out a level, they'd give you a faction-specific item, which dropped at your light level or slightly higher, I think. It was like 5 points higher or something like that. Anyway, they've kind of done away with that for Destiny 2, and now they turn it into a weekly event where all the factions pretty much fight against each other, and you sign up with one of the 3 factions, pledge your loyalty, and then you do missions in the game. Now that you could be playing PvP in Crucible, you can be doing strikes, raids, story missions, public events in the patrol missions and stuff like that. Everything gets you reputation with these factions, and you earn coins. And you go take your coins back and you hand them in for loot.
Okay.
And then they have ornaments for each piece of armor, and you have to do specific things to earn those ornaments. And then what happens is each faction has a specific special weapon for that week. And whoever's faction earns the most rep, they get to buy the weapon, and the other 2 factions lose out. So what happens is if you're in the winning team, you get to buy the weapon for 1,000 glimmer. Everyone else can buy the weapon from your faction, but it costs them 50,000.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah.
So it's
good.
it's a big deal kind of thing.
So can you cash in on that even if you don't even contribute?
You have to. I'm pretty sure you have to be signed up to a faction.
Oh yeah. So say
to,
I'm Dead Orbit and I haven't played the game at all during that period, and Dead Orbit win. Can I go and get it for 1,000 glimmer?
Yeah, so long as you signed up with them, because you can only do it within that week. Once it ends, your loyalty to the faction gets cancelled, and then you start again next faction. So you have to at least have played within that week, at least joined the faction within that week.
Right.
You don't necessarily have to do anything else, but yeah, you at least have to have been on the week, signed up with Dead Orbit for the week. So that means you can also change. So. Last faction rally, my Titan was in New Monarchy. I got all the loot, I got all the ornaments, and then this faction rally, I switched to Dead Orbit and got all the loot for them. So now I have a full set of Dead Orbit armor with ornaments and a full set of, and I've done that on my Hunter. I did vice versa on my Hunter.
Okay, I've got a Destiny question for you. You might be able to answer it. Now, look, the past week I've been sort of working out whether I wanted to get. Because I don't own Destiny 2, and I've played it and finished it on the PS4, and I've been wanting to get it again because I don't own it. And there's the toss-up, get it with the PS4, I've already got a character there, or I get it on the Xbox One and I can play with you guys, because all three of you have it on Xbox. What I'm wondering, if I get it on the Xbox, do I have to play the campaign to get into Crucibles? I can't remember.
All right, so you have to play the campaign up to a certain point. Now, I don't remember exactly what the certain point is, but there is a certain point in which you have to get up to before they let you into Crucible.
Yeah, it's fairly early on, I think.
But it's still fairly early on in the piece.
Yeah, because that's what I might do. I probably will not bother with that campaign again. I don't care for it. I'll probably be missing the other superpowers, like the things that you can unlock.
Yeah, but see, that'd be the only thing that I'd at least play through until you've unlocked the 3 subclasses. And then once you've done that, then yeah, you can say I don't want to play the rest of it. And
probably.
that would be my advice.
All I want to play is Crucibles. I love Crucibles. There is no other game out there where I have no interest in the campaign and only want to play multiplayer. That's the only game. I played it last night. I got access to it on the PS4. It's not my copy. I borrowed it basically off Remutha. Thank you very much to him. But yeah, played it last night with Snoogs, and it took me a couple of games. I was rotten to start off with. But it took me a couple of games. I got my eye back in. And I really enjoyed it. I had a fantastic night last night.
Yeah, look, I'm not a huge PvP player. I don't overly enjoy a PvP experience, but on Destiny, I don't just like it. I thrive on it. I really, really enjoy it. There's something about it. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, same. I don't know what it is. It grabs me. I don't get it, but anyway, I'm keen.
Yep.
All right. What else?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I played a bit of Destiny as well. Bit of Sea of Thieves before it went down again, and Fortnite with you guys, basically.
Yeah, Fortnite's been good.
Yeah, still trying to get my head around it all because it's all pretty new for me, and I'm not great, but it's fun. It's a good laugh anyway.
I'm not sure any of us are.
No. Well, I mean, the other night we got up to 5th. That's probably the best I've placed, I think.
But that's good. Like to and whether you survive, however you survive, if you can get there, you're getting there. I mean, when it comes down to it, that's the main thing. I mean, yeah, you can gloat about I got 5 kills, 10 kills, 12 kills, 20 kills, but if you're surviving, it's all just the way in which that you play.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm starting to learn strategy, and I'm starting to learn a bit more about the weapons and everything else that needs to go together to make it work for me.
Good,
But
good strategy. If it moves, kill it.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I've been heavily dependent on Snoogs at least for most of it. Of okay, where are we going? I'm just gonna follow you.
That's
Where
where
are we
I've,
going? What are we doing?
that's where
What
I've
are you
been
doing?
going
Tell me.
wrong. See, I've been working with if it moves, shoot in its general direction.
That's my problem. I can only do general direction.
Yeah, same. Have you, Rem and Greg as well, have you guys played PUBG yet?
No, still haven't jumped on PUBG. I do need to do that at some
Go and
point.
download it. It's there on the Age account. Give it a go.
Yeah, I've got it. I've just got to got to actually take the time
Got
to
to give
jump
it a
on.
go. Yeah.
Give it a
Yeah.
go. Yeah, it's a good contrast to PUBG. It's one of those things where it's exactly the same, but it's very, very different.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get my head around the building part. Like, I
building's
get it,
hard.
and it's really clever, and if you're good at it, it's incredible to watch. But yeah, I mean, PUBG Minecraft is an interesting blend. Yeah, I don't know.
I've started playing it where all that I'm focusing on is that building side of it.
Yeah.
So just to get a bit better at it, and I found, luckily with the Elite controller, it makes things a lot easier because the B button's on the back. I don't have to take my finger off the shooter,
Yeah, sure.
and that's really starting to speed up. And it's not too bad. I've had a couple of seconds, a lot of third, fourths, and fifths, just in singles. I'm yet to win one in singles by myself, but very rarely do I sort of dip below the top 20.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So it's not too bad. I'm getting there. I finished. Luke and I got the battle pass.
Yes, we did.
For this season, and I've only got one challenge left in that.
Nice.
So for the first week, so that's all done.
You know what I've got to say about it? It's a microtransaction. Is that what you would call it?
Yeah.
See, I don't know if it is because I mean it's $15, but essentially what it is, I mean, Fortnite's a free-to-play game, and we've paid money for it, and that sounds absolutely stupid because it's free. But I've already got $15 worth of value out of that because yeah, it's free, anyone can access it. But what that $15 battle pass does is that it opens up a whole bunch of challenges for you to do. It gives you unlockable things. It gives you something to work towards. Now,
and if you play it for long enough, you earn enough credit to buy next season's battle pass.
Yeah, and that sort of thing. Like it is putting a lot of life into the game. And some people would argue, well, you can get that same enjoyment without the battle pass. Look, you can still play the game and get lots of enjoyment out of it. But $15 worth of value out of that battle pass, it's definitely there because it gives you things to do, and it gives you extra little things. I don't regret buying it. Absolutely.
Oh, not at all. I played it a lot in Season 2, and I only got up to like level 10 or something. Season 3's been out for a couple of days. I'm already up to level 21. Solely for the fact that with the battle pass you get extra XP percent.
Well, it's straight off the bat, it's 50% extra, isn't it?
Yeah, yep. And I'm currently up to 70% extra XP that I get every round, and anyone that plays with me gets an extra 15%.
Yeah, so all your friends get a boost as well, which is really cool. I love it. I think Fortnite is doing some amazing things, and it's these little things that are making it stand out. And look, I speak for myself. This is my opinion only. I don't think this is a broad thing, but I think it's those little things that Fortnite are doing, as well as the polish, that's making a mockery of PUBG.
I actually like how quick it is.
How
quick it goes through. Like, you find that with PUBG, you're waiting a long time for the next round to start.
Yes,
even if you parachute in, you're one of the top ones to drop. You're one of the first ones to get killed. It doesn't really matter because the next one.
It is so fast to drop you into a game, isn't it?
Yeah. But with PUBG, you're waiting quite a while.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. But yeah, good fun. Lots and lots of good fun.
Nice one. Hey,
one other thing for me then.
Yeah, go.
So the good people at Relentless have tweaked our Relentless controller.
Yep.
So a few weeks ago, they've said to us we've got a new way of doing the pro triggers. So flick it back, send it back to us, and we'll update it for it. So it's now got triggers in it that have. I actually think you're right. I think they've actually got less of a throw in them than a mouse click.
Yeah, I do. I reckon there's more of a click in my mouse. Yeah,
it is tiny. And once you get used to it, it actually does take a little bit to get used to. It's phenomenal. So I played a round of Siege today, and it was completely different. It was so quick, so responsive, and Siege being that game where you need it to be responsive. And absolutely brilliant way of doing it. So what they've done is that there's a video that I'm currently editing that'll be up showing you all the bits and pieces for it. But Relentless have now got their own home button, I suppose you'd call it. And it's also got a textured backing plate on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the PlayStation button.
Yes. And the rear buttons have been redesigned, which feel a lot better.
Yeah, if anybody's familiar with the video I made a point of it that I thought it was too clicky. It was loud. The clicks were loud, and they were a bit stiff. That issue is gone. They're not. You can still a click. You can still hear a click, but it's not loud at all. And the amount of pressure needed to press them is perfect.
Yeah, very easy. Very easy.
So is the trigger throw like permanently set to, or can you adjust it?
No, it's permanent.
Yeah, okay. It's full on or full off. It's no good for a racer.
When the guys were first talking to me, the guys at Relentless were big Destiny players, and being that Destiny was coming out, that's what it was for.
Yep.
So it was built solely for Destiny. I still play a lot of Rainbow Six Siege and things like that. So that was something a bit different. You know, I've already got the standard controllers I can use for racing or anything else.
Yep.
So this one is solely for shooters.
Yeah, shooters. Sure. But that's I think it's probably safe to say it's the majority of what we play. You know, it's good for PUBG, it's good for Fortnite, it's good for Destiny, Call of Duty, anything like that. Really, it's just your races or things that really need an analog trigger.
Yeah, shooters, I must admit there is one part in Destiny where it doesn't work too well.
Okay.
And that's on the what are they? The speeders? What are they called? The Sparrows. Yeah.
Right.
Because for whatever reason, it doesn't. When you go to give it the boost, it only gives it a half amount.
Yeah, right.
Not the full amount. So it's actually you go quite slow. But for Crucible and that, it's brilliant, and that's all I really play now in Destiny.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah. And in PvE in Destiny, you don't need that fast trigger anyway.
No.
So just a standard controller will do.
So absolutely brilliant. So played a bit of Siege and a lot of Destiny last night with it, which was good fun.
Nice. Hey, I played a game that released today. I played it today.
I want to hear more about this.
Yes, okay. Well, the game I'm talking about is a PlayStation VR game, and it was released, as I said, today. Moss, it is called. Have Greg and Rem, you guys heard of that game?
No. I heard you talking about it today on Discord, but I haven't heard anything about it or seen anything about it.
Well, what it is...
So fill me in.
Well, Moss is it's a VR game, okay, but it's not like your typical VR. It's not first person or anything like that. It's a platformer, and it's set views, but your head is essentially the camera. So when you move your little character around on screen, it's a little mouse called Quill. As you move across the landscape, you follow the little mouse with your head. You watch it as it goes, and that obviously pans the camera. And there's like all these little obstacles and puzzles that you need to guide your little mouse through. But some of the obstacles, they're not going to work. You can't get from A to B. So what you use is the DualShock 4 controller. So the controller in your hand can manipulate things in the level. Because I should explain, your role, you're not just a camera. You're like this overseer character. You're referred to as the reader because you're reading a book, and the book has come to life, and the characters in the book can see you, and they know you're there, and you're assisting along the way. So you've got this little blue orb that floats around in the world, which is where your controller is. So you move that little blue orb by moving the controller, which is tracked by the light bar that's on the PlayStation controller, and obviously the 6-axis and all that sort of stuff. And you move things around, so Quill, your little character, who you're also controlling with the controller, can jump onto different things and get up ledges and all that sort of stuff. It is amazing. I have experienced games like this. There is a demo that's similar that comes with the PlayStation VR, but it's only a short little demo. And this thing is a full-fledged game. It's amazing. It's the kind of 3D that a 3D TV could never produce, because you feel like you're in there. You feel like you're watching a little mouse running around.
Yeah.
And there was... Yeah, sorry, go. Your question?
So if your head's panning, does that mean you're just constantly walking or rotating in a circle until you like tangled up in a cocoon of wires?
Very good question. No. Very good question. But no, there's like exit stage left, exit stage right. So you get from left to right, you go through a door, and then basically once you get to the far right of the screen, you turn your head back to the left and he comes out the next door.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that sort of fixes that problem. There was one moment in the game that melted me.
I saw that in your review. I'm guessing it's the same moment anyway.
Yeah, it's in the review, and there's many more, but this one just got me because it was intuitive. I just finished this really hard part, and I don't know if it happens in the same spot all the time, or if it's just because I died heaps of times prior. But when I finally finished that area, Quill, he sort of walked... Sorry, she... I keep getting that wrong. It's a she. She walked up and looked at me and held her little paw up towards me. And the first thing I thought was, it kind of looks like she wants me to high-five her. So I got the controller and sort of like booped her, like just put the controller towards her, kind of like a high-five, and it went, and it did. It went, and I high-fived the little mouse. That may sound really stupid in explaining it, but it was pretty cool. It was a great experience. You've got to do it. You can't explain it, but it feels really good, and it's
very much a surreal experience, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? Because the VR sucks you in. It all still looks like video game graphics, but it sucks you in, and your brain stops caring that it looks like a video game, and you're in there. You're part of it. And then there are parts where I'll be stuck with what to do, and Quill will look at me and go, and then sort of mime what it wants you to do, like do this. I'm like, all right, thanks for the tip.
Yeah, sort of points where it wants to go, and
yeah, and it does like little
it's an instant
mimes.
bond, isn't it?
Oh, it is instant bond. Like she'll look at you and go, and like point over there and go, as in it wants you to blow that up or something. Oh, it is so good. Like it's got the characters there. It's got the right sort of bonding between characters. It's got attitude. It's got fun gameplay. The combat's pretty cool. The character itself is cool. I haven't found anything wrong with it yet. Do you have any questions about it?
And you looked into the water at the start.
Yes, I did. Yes, and you see your face. Yeah. You
see your face in there. Yep.
This masked sort of being who's looking down at the pages of a book that comes to life. And when you go, when I was saying the exit stage right sort of thing, when you do that, you hear a page turn sound.
A page turn, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Yeah,
nice.
Like next page.
Yep.
Oh man, it's cool. It's a struggle. Like there were occasions there where I was really scratching my head and thinking, what am I doing? And then because it's VR, stand up. Like I'm playing it on a chair. Stand up, have a look at it from a different perspective. Inspect the level, move your head around, get down low, have a look. And generally I would solve the puzzle because there's a thing that I didn't see because of the perspective that I was on. All I had to do was duck down, and you feel like an idiot in games when you're trying to look around corners. You got to do that in VR.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. You find that's one thing. I've only played the demo. I haven't got the full game yet. Soon I will have it soon. But that was one thing that I found out. You lean, but there'll be a little sort of cutout in a rock wall where Quill's down in that, and you'll sort of you find yourself leaning to one side, trying to see her and trying to see what she's doing, and is there a ledge there that she can jump up onto and whatnot.
Yep.
It definitely sucks you in, and like you said, those little interactions. I think that's what makes it, and that's what makes it so endearing.
Mm-hmm.
You find yourself like, no, it's all right. We'll get through this. You sort of talk to Quill.
Yeah.
The whole time.
And she'll look at you and she'll notion like, come this way. And you're like, I'm coming.
Let's
I'm
go.
coming. Let's go.
All right, let's go.
It's so good. It's so good. It's completely different to what VR, I guess, was really intended for. But this, I will buy a game like this every day of the week. I love it.
Cool.
You know what this would be perfect for?
What?
God of War. Like an old school God of War like this.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. Yeah,
Oh,
it would be.
Yeah. I love it. I think it's fantastic.
God of War and late night raging with the VR.
I was going to say, instead of a cute little noise, you have him go rah at you and start motioning toward with his swords.
Yeah,
Just losing his mind.
Go this
flailing his
way.
swords, going this way, dickhead.
but mind you, there are a lot of games out today that I think would benefit from integration with VR, and I don't mean like a stupid little add-on thing. The same gameplay doesn't have to be first person. The same sort of gameplay as what we're used to in these games, but adding the 3D element, because essentially all this game is doing what a 3D TV does, but they're wrapping your head in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because there's no special gimmicky VR thing to it. It literally is just sucks you into the game. Like I could imagine like an Assassin's Creed with PlayStation VR. I think that would be fantastic. I don't want it to change the style of gameplay, but I would like it to add to it. Give me a 3D world to play in, you know?
That'd be interesting.
There you go. But look, I think most of that is my week of games. The big giveaway, it finishes tomorrow, which will be a couple of days prior by the time this comes out. So good luck to who entered, and we'll have the winners up shortly. But,
So I have one more thing.
yeah, go ahead.
This week I put up an article on my Twitter feed for Project Yeti, which looks like Google's foray into the gaming world. From what I've gathered, it's going to be a subscription-based scenario, but they're looking at streaming the games as opposed to having you download them. Now, up until now, streaming games has always been a problem because latency issues and all that jazz. It just
Not available in Australia.
not available in Australia, stuff like that. So they're looking at is, by the sounds of it, the rumors are all the lower fidelity kind of games you'll be able to just stream from your Chromecast. But for stuff that requires just that little bit more processing power, they're looking at creating their own console, and at the moment it's called the Yeti. And it will literally just be there to soup up your ability to play these games via a streaming service. The more promising part of this process is that they've just hired Phil Harrison to head up the project. Now, for those who don't know who Phil Harrison is, he's had about 20 years of experience in the gaming industry, for just about everyone that's anyone in the gaming industry. He was the VP of Sony PlayStation, Sony
Computer
entertainment for North America, and when he started, and he was also in charge of third-party relations and R&D, in which he was responsible for pretty much launching all of the PS family hardware and software in that process up to the PS3, I believe. He then moved on to Sony's worldwide studios, in which he managed and set up global strategy for 13 individual studios around the world, including Evolution and Guerrilla Games. Once he finally left Sony, he went on to a non-executive board role in Atari, in which he was also on an advisory role shortly after that for another cloud streaming service for gaming called Gaikai.
Which is what Sony bought.
Yeah, which is what Sony bought. And then he became part of the interactive entertainment team for Microsoft after that for Xbox.
Gets around this
guy. This guy has a lot of experience about getting hardware off the ground and into our hands, and has experience with game streaming, and like, if anyone's going to make this work, it's going to be this dude. So, I was skeptical until I saw this piece of information, and I went, all right, maybe we might see something in the future.
Yeah,
granted, as Snoogs says, Australia's going to suffer, and our internet isn't going to be able to cope with streaming AAA rated games. That's just, I think that's a pipe dream. But for the US, I think it's a big possibility.
I can't imagine streaming would be a viable way to play, no matter how fast your internet speeds are, because there's always going to be dips and dives, and I don't think there should be an alternative to just having the game on a hard drive. I can't imagine it.
We can't imagine it, but then once upon a time,
couldn't imagine.
We wouldn't have imagined, downloading a game instead of buying a physical copy, and
or putting information on the cloud, or
storing all our save games on a cloud instead of a cartridge that sticks in the front of your console. Stuff like that. But I was sort of doing a bit more reading, and there was some cool pros and cons to this whole Google effort that I thought were worth sort of looking at. So if you think about it, if Google's in charge of this, they could attach Google Assistant to it, which would help you schedule games with your friends. You could set pretty much your calendar, your Google Calendar with your friends, and set up time to play with your games. It can also help you LFG and look for other people playing the game automatically for you. You can just go use the Google version of Siri and say, "Oi, Google, find blah," and they can find people in your area, people who are playing your game, whatever, which I think would be kind of cool. They have the potential to use Google Hangout for party chat, only instead of just a normal party chat, you can have an on-screen. You have all your friends on the bottom of the screen looking at you, and they're looking at you, and you're looking at them, and you can. It's kind of a bit of a streaming session between your friends. And then the fact that Google is also heavily tied to YouTube, and I know how much you are enjoying YouTube at the moment, Luke, but I can't imagine that they won't leverage that for their own streaming service. And once again, using a voice command system that carries over everything. Not just like Xbox has Katana, but that's only good for when you're using Mixer or something that's within the Xbox that doesn't really allow you to do things in, say, Twitch.
And even then, it's not very good.
Whereas you now have an integrated voice control system that carries across all the components of everything Google touches. I can't imagine that that wouldn't be a great thing to leverage. And if they can get the streaming to work, how many times have we sat there and one of us is playing a game and we go, "Have you guys played this game? You should play with me." And we all go, "No, we haven't got that game." And we're just like, and you're like, "Well, get it so we can play it." And then it's like 2 weeks later before we get to play it because we all have to download it and then we have to find another time to play.
Well, you've got to add another week to that because I have to convince you that it's a decent game to play.
Well, see, there you go. But then in this, we've already paid our subscriptions. We don't have to download the game. We just literally bring it up and start playing it. You don't even have to convince me. You just go, "Greg, I'm not going to try and convince you. Just play the game with me. And if you don't like it, leave. I don't care."
The only thing that I don't like about it is in the immediate future, or even in the just after the immediate future, it's a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen for us.
Yeah, look,
Not soon.
it is. Within Australia, I think you're right. It is a pipe dream. But anyway, hopefully we'll get more news about it next month during GDC. So
that's it. All right. Well,
it'd happen in Australia if the people who are making the decisions and controlling it would actually freaking wake up and realise that we're sitting behind a third world country.
Yeah,
because of our internet speeds.
Yeah, we're lucky. Like where we are right now, we have good internet speeds. I think that our max, that we can get out of our fibre is 300 megabits down, which would be fine for this kind of service. But the thing is, we are such a small percentage out of the entire country that has this speed. There is no way they're going to bring something like this to Australia, just for us, to have 3%. I'm just. What they say about 2 out of 3 statistics are made up. I'm just making this up. They're not going to bring all of this down for 3% of a population, because the rest of Australia is still using ADSL2. We're using a maximum, best case scenario, right next door to the exchange, 20 megabits, and that's it.
Yeah. In comparison to, say, the US, where I've got US friends that complain when it drops to 1,000.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
You have nothing to complain about.
Yeah. Oh, it dropped to 1,000? Shut up.
Yeah, they run out of downloads for the month and their speed gets throttled and they're still doing 3 times what we can do.
Exactly. Yep.
But anyway. So
anyway, that's the pipe dream from Google this week. So.
All right, well, let's. I'll move across. I've got a bit of news as well. I've got one here on Metal Gear's all-time low. Now, you go to Metal Gear Survive. You guys have heard of that game, I'm sure, at least once, twice.
Yeah.
Kind of know it exists.
Yeah, we had a go at the beta, didn't we, Luke? What happened?
Oh God, that was rubbish. Now, look, granted, that is a separate game mode. It's a shitty wave defense mode that I don't really like. Some people might like it.
Yeah, and we didn't take the time to actually learn what we had to do.
No,
just like, this is fun. Control D.
Yeah, it wasn't too great. I'm not a fan of the wave defense. Now, I haven't played the main game, but I've heard all these different opinions from different outlets that do reviews. Also from Repremier, who's played it himself, told me his opinions. Now, Repremier, I generally accept his opinions, and he gives me his opinion in a way that would sort of complement what I would think. He's like, does that make sense? Like, he says to me what I might think of it, and he's usually spot on because he knows me really well. And I don't think I would enjoy it, but it's not a terrible game, so I hear. But that's not what this news item's about. What it's about is the fact that this is an all-time low. I've not heard of this before, but there's microtransactions now. That's not new. But you only get one save slot. Okay, so you can have one character. You can start. It's a survival game, so you can run several different gameplay styles. You might want to be conservative. You might want to be fast and agile. You might want another character to be a bit of a slow buff tank of a character. The only thing is, if you want to run both of them side by side without deleting your first one, you have to pay real money to get a second save slot to play a second character. That's like having Destiny saying you can pick either your Hunter, your Warlock, or your Titan, but if you want to try out the other one without deleting your first one, you have to pay money. That's absolute. That's crazy. This is crazy talk.
All right, so educate me on one point. What's the price of entry to play the game? How much does it cost for the game?
It's about $59, $69 Australian. It's a little bit lower than your general RRP.
Yeah, no, I'm out.
Yeah.
They can go get bed.
So you're paying that sort of a price for it. Now I reckon the price has been reduced because of the issue, the whole Konami and Kojima thing, right? So I reckon they've reduced it to make it a little bit more attractive. But the thing is, this microtransaction, there's different. You can purchase 100 SV coins. They're called survival coins. 100, which will be 99 cents. 550 will be $4.99. 1,150 will be $9.99. 3,500 for $29.95, and 6,000 survival coins for $49.99. You need 1,000 survival coins to unlock a second save slot. So you can't just buy 1,000. 1,150 for $9.99. Okay, so if you want that second save slot for another character and keep your first one, it's going to cost you $10.
And what are you going to do with the other 150?
Well, that's, I don't know, whatever else
You can buy a nice hat.
It's probably going to talk you into buying another 100 or whatever to buy, probably a hat or a set of pants or some fancy Konami undies. But look, I just really disagree with that kind of game model. I think it's silly. These are things that most games come with. Like, most games don't even put it into the game. You literally just save straight to your storage, and you're only limited by the amount of storage you've got left. You know, like I just think it's madness. And now they're charging money for it. I think that's an all-time low. There might be some other games that have done it. I've not heard of them. This is the first time, and I think Metal Gear Survive is doing all sorts of things wrong.
Yeah, I think you've got to make that executive decision up front, I think, about either you don't allow that at all or you make allowance for it. If you want people to play the game several different ways, make an allowance for it. You shouldn't... Yeah, I don't agree with them making you pay for that privilege. I don't think that's really smart.
Sorry, just to answer something. Kaz is in the chat. He's listening in to us as well. Kaz, yeah, you could save it onto a USB, but you still wouldn't be able to run a second character, because what you have to do is you'd save the first one, and then when you re-uploaded it, you'd overwrite the second one that you did.
Yeah,
it'd just be too much stuffing around, and they've probably got something in place to stop that.
And also, with that amount of effort, you probably end up going, if you really wanted to do it, you'd be like, I'll just pay the $10.
Yeah.
And then they win. It's stupid, and for that reason, and among other reasons, I would avoid this game like the plague. Just in case anyone was wondering, can you earn a second save slot by playing the game? No, you can't. You can earn survival coins by playing the game, but that's only a grace period for like 2 weeks after the game launched. So after that, the only way to get survival coins is to buy them. That may change, but that's the information I have up to date.
And look, I'm going to say that the devs weren't happy either, because I read another article this week saying that there's hidden messages in the title screen.
I did see that.
And some of them saying Kojima forever, and also what was another one? Bastard Yoda and Cunning Yuji, being the first names of two of the people in charge of the project. So, yeah, look, the devs weren't happy either. Yeah. Anyway, look, that's we can move on from that, because it's an infuriating topic. It's so stupid, because Metal Gear Solid is one of the best games I've ever played. So it's a shame. It's literally a terrible way for this this the end for Metal Gear. It really is.
Absolutely. All right. Another couple of quick ones that I'll just rattle off here. There's Game Pass coming for March. There's a couple of big names coming. Microsoft are kicking some goals with this Game Pass, but Rise of the Tomb Raider is coming to Game Pass next month. That's also along with Sea of Thieves, which is obviously out on the 20th of March. And that's not to mention that later in the year, other first-party titles like State of Decay 2, that are all, I can't think of any others. That's all I've got.
Crackdown 3 is another
Crackdown
one.
3, thank you very much, that are coming, which is going to make this totally worth your money. Next month, though, further to next month lineup is Super Lucky's Tale is coming to it as well. Resident Evil Revelations 2, and a whole bunch of others. There's like Sonic CD and
Oxenfree,
Oxenfree.
Eurofishing.
Yes, thank you.
Resident Evil 2 and something else I can't remember.
Revelations, Resident Evil.
The Final Station.
Yes, that is a good game. I already have that from Games with Gold, but that is a very good game. So awesome stuff coming to Game Pass. Last one I've got here is a couple of remasters. Turok 1 and 2 are coming soon. Are you guys Turok fans?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, not really.
No, can't say I played it.
No, fair enough. Here's a fun bit of trivia for you. First multiplayer online game that I ever played was Turok 2 on PC. I was online for about 5 seconds and saw some other characters running around with their online names before it crashed and disconnected because I was running on about 45 bits bits a second. I think I was on a 56k modem, so it didn't work very well, safe to say. But yeah, I'm a fan of those. So Turok fans are going to be happy it's coming to Xbox One. The thing is, though, I think I've been a little bit spoilt by Shadow of the Colossus, which was a ground-up remake. These Turok games are just basically they've upscaled it to HD and maybe polished it a tiny bit, but essentially the graphics are exactly the same as they were like back in '97. I don't know how much they're going to cost, but they're $20 US that they've been announced at each. So $40 for the pair, and it's really the same game as it was. It's not remade or anything like that. But there you go. That's interesting. I liked the Turok games. All right,
cool.
I don't have anything else for video game discussion. Have you guys got stuff to add?
I have one piece that I wanted to get your opinions on.
Cool.
So some news has come out recently that Twitch is giving grants to female streamers in order to encourage them to be, I guess, more professional, more upskilled, all that sort of stuff, and to equalize the male to female gender ratio of streamers that they have. They reckon they have about 65%, I think it was, streamers. So I guess following on from all the changes in policy about, appropriate attire and behavior on Twitch in order to fight against the bit of toxicity that has been going on, I guess this is sort of a fight back to bring more female streamers into a professional light. So they're saying that they're giving out, they're offering grants from $500 to $2K, and they're offering it 2 of them per semester for high school or college students in order to encourage them to up their skills, go through training, get more professional equipment, etc., etc., etc. I wanted to bring that up because I wanted to see what you guys think. Is this a good move for Twitch? Is this a bad move for Twitch? Is it really as equalizing as it should be?
I'm with Kazakyle in the chat. I identify as a female. I want the $2,000 grant. Thank you. What a load of crap. What an absolute load of crap. It's like that. It's kind of like a cop-out at the same time, saying that women themselves aren't capable of doing this off their own bat. They need help. They need a handout. That's a joke. It's both a slap in the face to female gamers that are giving it a crack and doing their all, and not just being booby streamers trying to get views because their tits are out. But it's also a slap in the face of blokes. What about up-and-coming male streamers and like that are going to miss out simply because they don't have the bits and pieces that are required for a female grant? It's a bloody bloke's name for starters. The grant part. It's a bloke's name.
Yeah, we got that.
Right.
Yeah.
All sorts of issues.
Yeah, look, I guess they're trying to up the female ratio. Now, I'm not sure how else you do that except for incentivize for females to join the ranks. But at the same time, yeah, it can be read like a slap in the face of, you know, all those females that are doing the hard yards, all doing the right thing to get. And you know, I'm not sure. It's a difficult situation. I'm not sure there's always going to be an easy answer to it. Like I said, unless you incentivize it, it's hard to get people in.
Yeah, but why do they want more females? What's the point? If they don't want to be doing it off their own bat, why do you want them in the first place? I don't have a problem with them trying to help out the current clientele, but why bring more females in? It's just the $22,000 is going to last 5 seconds, and then
SJWs.
What? And then what?
That's why.
Yeah, fucking stupid.
SJWs. That's purely the answer right there. We have social justice warriors in the world that believe that everything should be equal and fair and all that jazz, and it should be equal and fair all the time.
The other way.
Yeah, I
before,
understand that. And
before I get into that,
justice warriors fall down. But,
Deb, do you remember where you read this? Where did you look at the article that you read about this? What was the top picture? Because I remember the one that I saw, and it infuriated me.
Mm.
Okay, so I read this article today as well. And first and foremost, you know what? If someone's going through school and it helps them with their school, you know, the education and everything like that, fantastic. You know, I'm all for that.
Mm.
The issue that I have is that the picture that they used to headline the article was a female streamer with her boobs out.
All right.
So, in an extremely low cut top. I see these sort of people, and personally, I don't care. You know, if that's what they want to do, fantastic, let them do it. But Twitch is trying to crack down on the whole, you know, cam girl thing that they've got going on at the moment on Twitch. But yeah, they used this picture where it was obviously someone who was, you know, the focus of the stream was them, not the game. They were in an extremely low-cut top where I reckon if she sneezed, and that's what they use as the top. So,
okay,
it's a hard situation.
You can picture that was at the top of the article.
Well, that's a good start for one.
Yeah,
but it can be taken so many ways.
Yeah, that's sensationalizing and
it's
clickbait.
And to do that exactly, it is clickbait. But
you're proving the point that you want to steer away from right there is, hey, look, attention, and for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. So this grant should be open to everyone.
I agree.
Yeah. I agree.
If you are someone that is between the ages of say 16 and 21, if you're going to college, school, whatever however it works, if you're between those ages, you meet that criteria, then you're eligible for this. Male, female, or whatever, because that's apparently now a thing. It shouldn't matter. I don't understand why it needs to.
Not everything needs to be
now I'm
equal.
confused. What's the money for? Are we helping people get through college, or are we helping people become streamers? Because I don't see how the money can do both.
I don't. I have no idea.
No, I'm now
well,
confused.
in Australia, $2,000 won't really get you set up to stream.
No, it'll maybe buy you a mic or some software or.
But once again,
not a lot.
And what's the money for? Like, I don't get it then.
Bribery?
The way that I read it was to assist people that were in school doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, the fact that it is targeting high school and college students does tend toward that, doesn't it? But yeah, like I guess let's see if I can find. So it's granting at least 2 high school or college ranging from 500 to 1,000. The grant money aims to help travel expenses for conferences, workshops, and more. So that's what they're going for. The only other positive on this, I guess, is that there's also a lot more advertisement around those female streamers who are not doing the booby cam stuff, which I think is a good part. I think if you want to boost your visibility of female streamers, that's what you should be doing, is you should actually be promoting them. But I'm not sure how effective that grant's going to be. And you're right, I do agree with you guys when you say, it should be across the board. It should be merit-based, not gender-based.
But see, what I don't understand, the question I would like to ask is, why do we want specifically more females? Why?
That's the issue.
That's the whole equality argument. Yeah. But the point is, I mean, regardless of whether you're male or female, if you want to be a streamer, you've just got to put the effort in. You've got to love what you do and do it passionately.
Not everything needs to be equal. If everything needed to be equal, then we would have, well, I don't know, maybe there is doctors out there trying to work out how to allow men to have babies, because women can. I want to be able to have a baby. No, it doesn't work like that. Not everything in this world is meant to be equal. There are some things that should be equal. There are some things that can't be equal, and there are things that just fucking whatever.
See, I think giving out grant money is the wrong way to do it. Personally, personally, I think if you want more girl streamers, what you should do is promote the good ones that are already on Twitch and create good role models and have that girls can watch and go, I want to be her.
Yeah, they'll influence people. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's what you want. You want influencers.
But why? Why do they want it? Are they bringing in more money or than the blokes?
I think the mindset is that. I think the mindset is that there's still a lot of lockdown on women as far as gaming and streaming and everything, really, that it's seen as a more male arena, which is not really as much the case these days as it has been. And so I think this is just, in light of things that have happened and the negative press that Twitch has had, I think this is just their rebuttal to say, no, we want to have quality girl gamer streamers. We want to be seen to be promoting them. We want to be seen to level the playing field and whatever. Yeah. It's just, as far as Twitch, I'm sorry, but I think it really is just looks-based. It's just PC for them. It's just, it just makes them feel and look better. But, you're right. It doesn't have to be a level playing field. I think I'd rather have less really good quality female streamers and gamers than lots of people who are doing it just for the numbers.
Yeah, if the females don't want to do it, then don't try and make them. They'll do it if they want to.
Well, let's look at this, right? Okay, so I've got onto Twitch right now. So it's sitting here in front of me. There are 4 Aussie streamers that are currently online. 1 woman and 4 blokes out of the people that I follow. So I follow anyone who I find enjoyable to watch, whether and what sort of games they play. The person sitting at the top of the channel with the most viewers is a woman. She's got the most viewers out of the 4 people that are currently streaming. And this person I've met in person. I actually met her at EB Expo. And she is, a great role model. She gets in, she works hard, she's been streaming for a long time, and doing the work and doing the networking and all that sort of jazz. And it's paid off for her. Yeah. So I don't understand why it's come to this point where it's like, we need to provide these people a leg up. If someone doesn't want to do the work,
all right.
It's the equal opportunity pendulum. All right.
Yeah.
Every time we have this thing where there's a domination of one particular type of person, and then they try and diversify, the pendulum has been sitting so far at one end that it ends up flinging back the other way, and which is what we're feeling right now. This is everyone that isn't a man has to come in here, right? And we're going to do everything we can to get them in. Eventually, the pendulum rights itself, like so many things that in the past, and after a while, it just doesn't become an issue anymore, and everyone forgets about it, and it's fine.
All right.
You know,
Look,
it equalizes.
We could probably talk about this all night, but I think we better move on. So I'm going to cut it there. Now, just before we finish up with video game discussion, last week we talked about what would you rather, Blades of Chaos and Hidden Blades. We've got a poll going on Twitter at the moment, and it is sitting currently at the Hidden Blades from Assassin's Creed at 56% and 44% for the Blades of Chaos God of War.
Nice and close.
It is close.
Ooh,
it is close. It's
nice.
still. I stuffed it up. It was supposed to be finished before this podcast, but I got the timing wrong. Still got 14 hours to go, so we'll see how it goes by the end of it.
Come on, all those fans of the Chaos Blades, get out there and vote.
Hidden Blades.
You're campaigning for nothing, because by the time they hear this, it's finished. And I've got another one going as well. Another one that is going for the next 11 hours. Have you signed up for Game Pass on Xbox One? Yes, no, or will do when Sea of Thieves releases. 55% have said yes, 36% have said no, and 9% have said will do when Sea of Thieves releases. Are you guys got it? What have you got? Huh?
I haven't got it yet.
No? So that means no for Rem. Snoogs?
No. I just... I just couldn't justify it for the amount of time that I was spending on it.
So are you no, or will do when Sea of Thieves releases?
At this stage, it's a no.
Not even when Sea of Thieves?
No, I'll just buy Sea of Thieves.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There's no there's no guarantee that 6 months down the track, Sea of Thieves will still be on there.
Well, that's true. That is true. There's also not been anything said about it being the full game. Like, not saying it'll be a demo or anything, but there's no talk about saying there's going to be bits missing. They might be keeping that under their hats. But you're right, there's also no guarantee that it's going to be there. It might only be for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Good thinking. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on to our next segment, which is our new one, Hall of Fame.
All right. We had a quick discussion between ourselves and figured that age should have its own Hall of Fame. And over the next several weeks or throughout the year, we'll have, every now and then, we'll have a segment adding a new game to, or not necessarily games, it could be anything, it could be developers, could be anything we believe deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, Age's Hall of Fame of Gaming. So this week's entry, I have put together a spiel about Street Fighter 2. So as a bit of an introduction, Street Fighter 1 was released in 1987 by Capcom. The game saw you take control of a single character, Ryu, as he competes in the worldwide martial arts tournament.
Do you know how old you're making me feel right now?
Trust me, I feel the same. At any time, however, a second player could enter and plays as Ryu's American rival, Ken. Fast forward to a few years later, and hang on, let me backtrack a little bit. Street Fighter 1 gave you the ability to, within the game, to have 3 different types of attacks for each attack. So you had a low punch, a medium punch, a high punch, low, medium, high kick, which allowed a bit of a, if you will, scissors, paper, rock style attack system. Obviously, your heavier punches did more damage, but your lighter attacks were a lot faster. You can actually, if you hit them at the same time, a low punch would beat a heavy punch. And then your character Ryu had 3 super moves. So the Hadouken, the Shoryuken, and the Tatsumaki Seppukuyaku, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I know those moves. Yeah.
Yep. So everyone, the famous ones, everyone knows. So that's pretty much where Street Fighter started. Then in 1991, Street Fighter 2 was released. Street Fighter 2: The World Warriors. It was at this point that Street Fighter pretty much became a genre definer. It was the first beat 'em up to give the player a choice of characters, 8 to be exact. Not only that, but each fighter had its own unique style and over 30 moves each, from basic attacks, grapples, and supers. So when you think about that, it literally went from every other game literally was like a one character you fought as, and they had pretty much 3 attacks and 3 supers, and then they've gone from 8 characters with 30 unique attacks, a unique style of play, 30 different attacks and supers and all that jazz, which was a big jump. So all this meant that Street Fighter 2 sold 14 million cartridges across the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, and Mega Drive.
There's a lot back then.
That is a lot. And across its 4-year lifespan, it had multiple revisions, adding multiple character outfits, improved graphics, different game speeds, hidden characters, and super combos. All things that are now pretty much beat 'em up staples. As a testament to this, the final variant in 1994, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, is still a mainstay in gaming tournaments today. There's still literally gaming tournaments for Street Fighter 2 Turbo. It has been remastered countless times for the PS1, Sega Saturn, PS2, Xbox, PSN, Xbox Live, and even now the latest revision, Ultra Street Fighter 2, the Final Challenges, is being remastered and remade for Nintendo Switch. This game is a powerhouse for the beat 'em up genre. It has literally pretty much set the tone for the entire genre, like everything, even down to the way it looks, the health bars up above, 3-round, best of 3 round system, like all of that was created by Street Fighter, and it was brought out in Street Fighter 2. So with that in mind, I know that my personal experience with it, I love Street Fighter. I've played it for a while now. Now, I don't claim to be good at it by any stretch of imagination, because it's one of those games that's easy to pick up and super hard to master, and there are some people out there that are ridiculous. But I remember in high school wasting many, many free periods on my friend's PSX Portable. We'd sit there in our break room in high school and we would waste free periods just playing Street Fighter over and over and over and over. I'm pretty sure I knew Street Fighter moves better than I knew my calculus that I probably should have learned a lot better from HSC.
You know what I'm hearing? I'm hearing Age Street Fighter comp.
Hey, look, I'm all for it. Yeah, sounds good. But yeah, so please, guys, you tell me your experiences, favorite characters, favorite moves. Please,
well,
in the lightness of your Street Fighter.
I've got a confession to make.
Yeah.
I love Street Fighter. I think it's an amazing game. I've never owned one. Never.
Dun, dun, dun.
Never. I have never owned in my own hands my own copy of Street Fighter ever. I have played it a ton in the arcades. I've played a lot of it in the arcades. I've played a lot of it with friends and all that sort of stuff, but I've never had my own copy. I don't know why. I've got no excuse for that. I love the game. Favorite character? I always chopped and changed. My go-to would always be like Ryu, but I also enjoyed playing with M. Bison and it's the green dude,
Blanca.
Blanca. Yeah, I liked Blanca as well. As a kid, though, we always used to call him Wanker because it sounded like Wanker. It was like Blanca Wanker, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
and then there was always the rivalry between the charge up character people, the people that played charge up characters, and the people that played fireball characters. And there was always a mad rivalry between those guys. Just like charge up characters are the elite guys. They're like, oh, they're harder to use.
I was the charge up character guy.
Dim Sim was good. I like Dim Sim.
Douse him. What are your favourite nicknames coming out?
Yeah, that's right.
Rem, do you have a favourite character? Do you have any?
No, I don't think I have a favourite character. I honestly just enjoyed whichever one I got to play as. But, I mean, like Lucas, I haven't had a physical copy of my own. I've played it with other people at different times, but my most favourite memories are always my brother and I playing at the arcades. I'm pretty sure it was number 2 or 2EX. We'd go down to the arcade and we'd just spend all our money just pumping into this Soul Calibur Street Fighter, my gosh. Street Fighter machine. You know, massive joysticks and the red and blue buttons, and he'd just be slamming away at this thing trying to beat the crap out of each other. And naturally my brother always beat me because he was always better at games than I was. But yeah, like such a great game. Such a great game.
Snoogs?
Mine was always Blanca.
Blanca?
He was always the go-to. Mainly because he was probably the only one that I actually knew how to use. Very much, you know, the charge up, the electrify that he did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And yeah, just the extra reach that he had. It just always seemed to work for me. But,
cool. Well,
and you know what? I actually enjoyed the movie as well. As terrible as that sounds, and look, the lynch mob's coming. I know, but
no, I love
actually
the
enjoyed
movie.
it.
Look, I'm just going to put it out there. Guilty pleasure, definitely.
Guilty pleasure. That's exactly what it is.
It's a guilty pleasure.
I'm on Netflix. I was like, yes.
Well, all of us loved it. I loved it too. Oh, Kylie Minogue's Cammy.
Oh dear.
Yeah, and good old Jean-Claude as Guile.
Guile. Yep.
Yeah, and that rest in peace. What was his name? That was M. Bison.
Raul Julia.
Raul Julia. Yeah, he was cool.
Yeah, that was amazing. He was so good.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Can't remember what it was about, but
I don't think it was about anything, really.
I think it was about fighting in the streets or something.
M. Bison was going to take over the world. Any excuse to fight was literally in there. And then M. Bison was going to take over the world, and Guile had to stop him.
Oh, and there was the big guy. What was his name? The sumo guy.
Sagat? E. Honda.
E. Honda, that's it, yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
so my favorite character was Akuma. I was one of the Akuma fans.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, being a Akuma fan, my favorite move was the Raging Demon, which was always, stupidly hard to pull off. It's like 26 buttons of mashing fury. Maybe not quite that many, but it was so satisfying. You pull it off, and then all of a sudden you just see him slide across the screen. Screen would go black. Punch, lights going left, right, and center, and then it fades back in, and your opponent is lying on the ground, and Akuma is standing over him, pulling his pose.
Was Akuma in Street Fighter 2? I don't remember them.
So he was one of the hidden characters that they added in later versions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you had to finish the game to unlock him in a certain criteria in the way only Street Fighter could do it. You know, you had to not die and have a certain amount of super finishes and perfect finishes and whatever, you know, and then you would unlock him, kind of thing.
Yeah, right. Okay.
But yeah, But yeah, no, I love it, and I think for the reasons that I've already listed, in the end, the final version of Street Fighter ended up having 20 characters from the original 8. It ended up with 20 different characters. So, and like I said, for all the reasons listed, I think that's why it deserves to be the first inductee in our Age Hall of Fame.
Yeah, definitely deserving of a spot there. Yeah, I'm just doing a search on the Xbox. Is Street Fighter not on the Xbox at all?
What do you mean?
Like, can you not get any Street Fighters? Because I know the latest was exclusive to PS4, wasn't
Alright,
it?
so here's the thing. Capcom, being Capcom, they're kind of a unique mob. They have this, let's call it sales strategy.
Yes, let's call it that. Let's not really call it what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Let's call it sales strategy. So they release a game, and while ever it's selling really well, they keep it on the shelves. But once sales start to die down, they actually stop producing copies of the game. And
I'm talking digital here. There's nothing.
And they do the same. And the reason they do this is to keep sales high of initial. So as soon as, generally what happens is you'll release a game, and then after a while, once sales start to die down, people selling the game tend to cut the price of it to try and offload more copies and stuff like that. Well, Capcom doesn't allow that. So what they do is they create this scenario where everyone that wants a game of Street Fighter knows they have to buy it in the first couple of months, otherwise they miss out.
Yeah, but
they have to pay full price for it.
But see, there's none, none at all. Not even the most recent. Super Street Fighter 5 was PlayStation 4 exclusive, and everything else is on PlayStation. PS3, you can get Super Street Fighter.
I have a couple of different Street Fighters on Xbox, but like I said, I had to buy them when they first came out.
Yeah, look, I'm sure you can still get the discs around, but yeah, there's absolutely nothing. Everything's only on PlayStation. There's PS3. There's PS4 games, all that sort of stuff, but yeah, nothing on Xbox. I thought that was cool.
Well,
interesting.
You can rest assured that once the 30th anniversary collection comes out, which will be May this year, it will be on Xbox One as well as PS4 and Switch and PC.
Oh, there you go.
So no excuses now. I guess we have to buy it.
Well, I want to buy Street Fighter or Street Fighter 2 now.
But let's hope there's a copy of Street Fighter 2 in the 30th anniversary edition. I'd be surprised if there's not.
There is. It says the content-rich all-in-one package highlights the series past in an anthology of 12 classic titles with arcade-perfect balancing, including original Street Fighter, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Street Fighter Alpha, Street Fighter Alpha 2, Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact, and Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. Have I missed one?
So here's the thing. Here's what I love about it. They have a 30-year anniversary edition, and literally half of the games come out of 4 years of that 30 years.
Yeah.
What's that? Our game's popular. Here, have 1,000 of them.
I love it.
So yeah, awesome. The Ultimate Edition would have been like one of the last ones to come out. They would have all the characters in it. But yeah, we should definitely get it and then have an Age Street Fighter tournament.
Yeah, well, if you've got copies of them, I'll get yous over one night and we'll have a streamed competition. We'll see who is the ultimate shitty fighter.
Yeah,
oh,
I think I've got Street Fighter 4 and Capcom versus SNK somewhere. I'll dig them out.
All right, beautiful. We'll organise that for the future. All right. Well, is that everything for Hall of Fame?
Yeah. Look, I think we've covered it. I think. Please, in the comments, in the chat, everything, let us know whether you think Street Fighter 2 was worthy or not. Tell us who your favourite characters are. Tell us your favourite moves. Tell us your experiences. Let us know. We'd love to hear about it.
Awesome. All right, well, I've got a note there. That was the first one for the Hall of Fame. And we'll have another one next time we do that segment. All right, well, let's move on to the next segment, which is What's That Sound? All right, now I guess everybody on the show itself cringes when it comes time for What's That Sound, but everybody else loves it. So, last week, I believe, Snoogs, you got this one. Let's have a listen to what last week's What's That Sound was.
Yep.
All right, Snoogs, tell us what was it?
That was Rainbow Six Siege.
That is correct. To be exact, it was like the intro, the Ubisoft logo portion. They're pretty unique to their different games, but 100% that was from Rainbow Six Siege.
And
Right.
not The Division.
Not The Division, that's right. That was that second bleeped out one. That's right, yeah.
Yep.
That we thought everyone would suggest if they heard that Snoogs got it right. All right, well, this one is going to be a little bit harder, and I'm going to say it's going to be... Well, I don't know about you, Greg and Rem. I don't think Snoogs is going to have a hope in hell, but I might be wrong. I don't know, maybe he's played this game. But this one's going to be quite unique. Have a listen to this week's What's That Sound? The fuck was that? Someone just stick their microphone in their nose?
Someone ate it.
That wasn't the sound, okay?
What sound was that? A stroke?
All right, take two. This is this week's What's That Sound? That's it.
All right, random woman screaming.
Well,
Let's narrow it down.
it is a woman screaming, but it's a specific woman screaming from a specific video game.
Play it again.
Play it again, Sam.
All right.
That's a hard one. I'll give some hints out. It's a very popular game.
Is it like it's gonna be like Resident Evil or something like that?
It's not Resident Evil. Thank God I don't have to beep it. You're not copying Kazza Kyle because he's typed in Resident Evil Biohazard.
Oh really? Did he? No, I didn't see that. But
That's not.
what was the other one? Is it Evil Within?
It's not The Evil Within. No.
Literally gonna chew up all the guesses
No.
for everyone else.
No, it was a popular game. I said.
Oh, what? You say? Oh wow. Take that, Evil Within.
Yeah. The Evil Within 2 was good. The Evil Within was rubbish. That's my opinion. My opinion.
A good popular one. All right.
Yeah.
Last guess. Outlast.
Outlast is not correct. Kazakol says Layers of Fear. That is incorrect as well. I'll play it one more time and then we'll move on. Okay. Fear is incorrect as well, Kazakol. Alright, so that
Are you
is
talking
this...
horror genre?
No, it's not even a horror game.
Nah.
Not-
Right. That's it.
I've heard it, but it's... And I can even picture it.
Yeah.
If you can picture it, just press pause. See what happens.
Take a screenshot, dude.
I mean, we're not talking like a Tomb Raider game here or something, where she falls down or gets skewered.
No, it's not. Time's up. All right.
Time's up.
If you think you know what this week's What's That Sound is, then send us a message to our Facebook page, and if you're correct, you may well be the recipient of a free game. Those with wrong guesses may also. That's not a promise, though. I don't know. Depends on the mood that I'm in when you send me the answer. If I'm in a crap mood, you get nothing.
Hey, Luke. Hey, Luke.
What?
Hey, Luke. Did I win?
Did you win what?
Just remember, it's not
Wrong
arbitrary.
answer. So.
Unless the dust is on you.
Oh, you're an admin. You don't count. You know, generally, if I'm home when I get the answer come through, I'll give him a free game. If I'm not home, I don't have access to the game, so I'm like, nah, you're wrong.
Right. So the trick is to stalk you so we know when you're home.
If you know I'm home, if I've maybe just done something like posted up a video on YouTube, well, even that's not
That's
a
a
given.
good time to guess.
It's not a given because I may have scheduled it or something like that, but it's a good time for a guess. Then you might get a game. But anyway, alright, that was What's That Sound. Let's move on to another new segment, and it is called Reverbalation. Okay, somebody tell me what the hell is a reverbalation? Because I looked at that and thought, what the hell? That can't be a word.
Alright, so Reverbalation is... Reverbalation is a game based on sounds. So the sounds we hear from video games, or, well, it could be just about anything, really. So we were tossing up titles of going, it has to be something around, like, gaming noises. And Reverberation came up, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool name. We've got to use that somehow. Greg's like, oh, what about verbal reverberation? I'm like, that's a tongue twister. Anyway, we ended up smashing the two, and that makes Reverbalation.
Okay, so there wasn't a word that existed in the English language, so you just made your own.
We made our own out of two, yeah.
Making it up as they go along.
Just like the Dutch.
Yeah, pretty much. Like freaky dicky Dutch. That's us.
Alright, so the basic gist of Reverbalation is we're going to get you and Pat, so Lucas and Pat, we've given you a list of 3 sounds that we want you to make for the other person. And the idea is, if the person hearing the sound can guess the sound, they get a point. If they can't, then the person making the sound gets the point. But there's a clincher as well. We're going to give you a second chance, just in case the first person making the sound wasn't clear enough, or, you know, might be trying to jinx the game. According to Greg.
Hackers.
So our second backup is, if you can't get the sound the first time, Greg's going to make the sound for you and give you a second chance. If you can guess it from that, we'll still give you the point, and if not, the point goes back to the person making the sound.
Greg, that really sounds like the Snoogs clause.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I did this with your mind.
All right, so as I said, we've given you guys your sounds.
Yeah.
So, Pat, can I get you to make your first sound for Lucas?
Yes, you can. Which was it?
Incompetent podcast host.
Yes.
Yes, I got it.
I'm trying to find the higher pitch of my voice range. So hold on a sec, I'll just tighten up my pants. Ba-ding!
Was that
Did you
it?
get that?
Was that
Yeah,
it?
that was-
Oh!
That was the sound.
Do it again, Pat.
Ba-ding!
Oh. Is that like a Super Mario Brothers coin?
Yes.
Yeah.
Get a point.
Well done, Lucas.
Who gets the point, him or me?
You do.
Me,
You get the
yes.
point.
Right.
Correct guess, you get the point. All right, Lucas, your first sound for Pat, please.
Okay. Waka 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 waka. How was that?
Pac-Man.
Yeah, nicely done. All right, Pat, sound number 2, please.
Hey, Lucas, you want to go bowling?
Nice.
Oh, that's Roman from Grand Theft Auto 4.
Well done, you. Oh. Lucas, sound number 2, please.
Number 2, all right.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, actually, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed.
Lord. Oh, it's a door opening. Isn't it? But what's it?
What? Hang on.
Oh,
Can I? I'm going to
yes,
add a
please.
little. I'm going to add a little bit to it.
Yeah, no, you can add to it.
No? Yes?
No, that's going to throw him off because it doesn't sound anything like it. That was the select. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know what you're trying to do.
No,
Did you
I
get
got
one,
nothing.
Pat?
No,
All right,
nothing.
Greg, round 2.
All right. I'm not sure I can do the first bit as well. I think he's not tanking that. I'm going to give you that. Blink, blink, blink.
No, got nothing there.
Yeah, it's hard, but that is really close to what it sounds like.
That is very, very good.
You'll kick yourself when you hear the answer. I'll tell you right now.
So that was entering vats in Fallout.
Oh, for shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, Lucas, you get a point for that one.
Awesome.
All right, Pat, sound number 3, please.
Okay, this one I'm going to need a sec with.
What are you doing?
Fuck.
He's preparing.
I'm just trying to get my head around it. Do 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 do. Yeah. That's about all I got for you.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't,
okay.
I don't know.
You're trying to do it so you're not giving it away, yeah?
No, I'm not. I got yeah.
Oh, I don't know. It's not black, is it? I just the gunfire and that.
Nah.
Would you like your second
Yes.
sound?
Yes, please.
Great.
Untertag. Mein Lieben.
Oh! It's Wolfenstein! What the hell were you doing, Pat?
I was doing the background music and the
Oh, dear.
Oh, wow. Nice. All right.
Oh.
That's a point to Lucas.
Whoop,
All
whoop.
right, Lucas. Sound
Right.
number 3, please.
All right.
That's Abe.
Yeah.
Yay.
Nice. Well done, guys. Oh wow, that was incredible. I'm so
I like this segment. Can we do this every week?
This worked out so much better than I planned.
It's fantastic. Can we do this every week? Seriously, I love this.
Sure.
Or at least every fortnight. I don't know. We've got to do this more often. That was fantastic. I love that one. That's a laugh. Oh dear.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
round
dear.
1 of Reverbalation goes to Lucas.
Woo!
Well done. Well played. I love the noises from both sides.
Oh dear. I'd be interested to see what the listeners think. If they thought we were way off or no hope or whatever.
Oh, so
Nice one. All right. Well, that's it. That's Reverbalation, isn't it?
that's
That is
Reverbalation.
Reverbalation.
Short
Oh.
and sweet.
Yeah, that was tops. Very good. All right, let's move on to our last segment, Last Words.
Ooh.
All right, so do we have last words? Have you guys got anything? I've got a couple of things if you don't, but if you've got anything you want to get off your hairy
Mein
chest.
Lieben.
Oh dear, that was great.
That was a bad time to take a drink.
Now, Rem, we spoke about this with your problem. It's probably
Yeah.
a bad time all the time to have a drink.
I don't think I need drinks. I think I'm pretty good without them.
You have been diagnosed with a parasite.
True. Yes, I have.
Last words for me. The Tomb Raider movie is out next month. I think it's 16th of March in Australia. That's the date I looked up anyway. I think we should all go have a date, all of us, and go and see it.
Aww.
Oh,
So romantic.
Yeah. We can all
sounds good.
swing hands, have a
Was there another
burrito.
one? Was there one that came out before?
What?
Is this like the second remake one?
No, this is
No,
like
it's the
No?
first one.
this is the first of the new age. This Tomb Raider sort of looks like it's going more off the current games.
Okay,
Right.
I thought they'd already released one.
No,
Tomb Raider sort of how it should have been, rather.
No, fair enough.
well, so, we haven't seen it yet. Let's not go that far. But Alicia Vikander is playing Lara Croft, and she looks a lot more like the current, Rise of the Tomb Raider and the Tomb Raider reboot Lara Croft, which is a good thing. Whether it's going to be good, I don't know. Which means she's got regular-sized boobs.
Well, they're
Not
not angular or yeah.
Oh, I wasn't talking about the shape, but they're just not massive. You know, they're not you blown out of the proportion porn star.
Yeah, she's a normal person. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, she's a athletic grave robber. You know, well, that's it. So essentially, I think we're going to have to sit through the story again. They're going to tell us about her father and how he was him and blah blah blah. Hopefully,
Kind of
they.
like every time they bring out a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that's it, we get-
Why is Spider-Man again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hoping they glaze over that. I hope they tell it, but tell it short and sweet. You know.
Tell it well in a very small amount of time and move on.
It can be in the preface, just like some writing at the beginning.
Yeah, that's it. Just a quote. A
Yes,
quote.
that was
Yeah. Lara, the descendant of the great, what was his name? The dad? I can't remember. Mr. Croft, who was a fantastic
Lord.
explorer.
Reginald Croft.
Lord Croft. Yeah.
That'll do. But anyway, so hopefully it's good. But yeah, that was all I wanted to say. It's coming out very soon, and I want to go see it. Video
Yeah, I'm
game
keen.
movies, I'm always keen to go see them to see if they tank or if they're half decent.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah,
thing I
no,
want... Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
I was going to say another thing. Join the Discord channel. If you're listening to this far into the podcast, then you must have liked it. Then I would definitely suggest go across to the Aussie Games Express Discord channel and make yourself known. Say hi. The links to the Discord are in the description of the podcast. Easy to get into.
And we apologise about some of the jokes in there.
Yeah, I also
We're not
personally
responsible.
I also personally apologise for Kazakal and Prophet of Metal.
They're your responsibility.
Well, yeah, well, I invited them, didn't I?
Mm.
Well, they sort of just they followed me in, I think.
Oh, Kaz, you're still listening.
Oh, I forgot he was in. Actually, if anybody's wondering, yes, you can listen to this podcast as it's getting recorded if you are a subscriber to Aussie Gamers TV on Twitch, or if you're a fairly prevalent person in the community, I'll give you access to listen as a bit of a reward for what you do for us. Now, Kazakyle, as much as I give him stick all the time, he does amazing things for us. Every time I'm live streaming, he keeps on to the people that are joining into the chats, and he's like, "Hey man, make sure you follow and like Aussie Gamers and go and check out their Discord." He's like spruiking it for us. I'm like, this guy looks like he works for us, but he doesn't. He's just part of the community. So that's why he has special access to listen to the podcast. And if anybody is like that and gets noticed, I'm gonna bump him up and give him that access. So there you go.
Thumbs up to you too, buddy.
Good stuff, mate.
Yeah, good on you, Kazza. All right, yeah, you guys anything else to say? I sort of talk a lot, don't I?
That's all right. You're the host, so
Well,
It's probably a
yeah,
good thing.
that's kind of your job.
I get real into. I get passionate about things I say. If you guys can't see it because this is just a podcast and we're not doing any video, my hands are a million miles an hour when I'm talking. You can probably sense it.
You should have seen me talking about Street Fighter, man. I'm pretty sure if someone was looking in from the window, they're just going, "Is that dude?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure that dude's like mimic and a Hadouken right there. What the fuck?
Or he's doing some sort of weird Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, well, I guess that's the end of the show. Let's finish up. Thank you very much to everybody for listening. Thank you very much, Kazakyle, for being in the chat. He's gone now. And thanks for everybody that supports everything we do. And we'll be back again next week. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Rem. Thank you, Snoogans. And for everyone else, I love you dearly. And I'll be back another day. Until then, I am Lucas.
I'm Remutha.
I'm Grejio.
And I have been Snoogs. Thanks everyone for listening. See you next time.
What nobody realises is that I cut out the gaps between that every single week to make it sound like we flow really good.
Make us sound more professional than we really are.
That's exactly the look I'm going for. Anyway, catches.
See ya.
Well, here we are once again at the end of this week's show. If you're still hungry for more video game content, then head over to the Aussie Gamers Express Facebook page and give us a like. We also have a heavy presence over on Twitter and YouTube, and their links are waiting for you in the podcast description. This podcast is available for your convenience through Spotify, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and more. Thanks again for listening. Catch you all on the next episode of the Aussie Gamers Express Video Game Podcast.